Hey, love bugs, it's Roslynn back at you one more again. I hope everybody is doing blessed. I'm doing blessed and highly favored, and definitely hope the same for you. And if this is your first time stopping by my channel, much love to you and welcome. And to my returning subs, my grown, extended, beautiful family, as always, thank you so much for the love and support. And if you have been watching my videos for a while and have not already, like and subscribe, hit that notification bell at the bottom so you know when I'm about to upload my next video. Also, if you're comfortable enough, drop a line or two. I would love the chance to get to know you as much as you're getting to know me, even if it's about the positive feedback to the content of the video. And if you are comfortable enough to drop me a line, I would love the chance to get to know you as much as you're getting to know me. And if you feel like the video is uplifting and give good vibes that you would love to share with a loved one, family, or friend. Y'all, I know I messed up my intro, but it's all right. If you feel like the video gives good vibes, you would love to share with a loved one, family, or a friend, or even a fellow empath that may be going through trying times at the moment and just needing confirmation, validation towards life path, or even soul purpose, or even spiritual guidance, please go ahead and share. And while you're at it, give your girl a thumbs up, like, and also share in the social media favorites wherever you see fit. As always, thank you so much for the love and support. It's truly appreciated. And I hope you're able to resonate with the content of my video. Y'all, the side of my nose is like itching like crazy. They always say, your nose is going through that. It's like you're on especially if I'm about to talk about something I need to really talk about, my nose start itching on the side. Let me see. The video I'm about to do right now is called Twin Flame 101. Heyokas, moving forward while facing to accept the truth, even when truth tends to hurt. That is, oh God, that is so true. It's just the power of acceptance. I noticed that there'll be a lot of times that like I'll listen to meditational music that there's talking about letting go and acceptance. A lot of emotions come up and I'll just burst out into tears. And a lot of times it's hard for us to be able to accept the truth in a lot of different things. There are certain doors that needs to be closed that we have issues on closing. There are certain people that we have to let go of and accept the fact that not everybody is going to be able to go on that journey with us. Being able to understand the truth in your intentions as well as other people's. Losing people in our lives, there's a lot of times it can get very hurtful, you walk around, in somber moments when, it just seems like when you've gone through your spiritual awakening, which it awakened your spirit in some kind of way, a lot of people dropped out of your life like flies. And, I always had to constantly tell myself, I never lost anything I didn't need. And sometimes we try to understand why people walked out of our lives, and that's actually not what it is. God turned you around, and showed you they already made their point. They already gave you that experience. Now it's time to go. A lot of people that were in your lives wasn't really doing anything in the first place to where it's going to continue. They actually did something into your life, but whatever it was had the expiration date. You had to go. And it was a lot of times that used to be my downfall. It's like, being able to see that people are not a good match for me or a good connection with me. And I used to constantly feel lonely and allow myself to just keep bringing people in, even when I know they didn't have my best interests at heart. They weren't cautious about my well-being. They weren't cautious about theirs, because it's like a lot of times where people make poor choices, not just towards you. They're making it towards themselves just to be doing those situations that were very poor choices. And so a lot of times for us to move forward, we have to accept every beginning eventually has an end. There are certain things that are everlasting, but there's a lot of things that goes to a not so happy ending. Well, it could be that towards that other person, or it can be depending on how you tend to look at it. Because a lot of times it could be like, oh, I don't want to give that person up. But you have to understand if there's universe will pull strings to allow you to see the indications on certain people that don't need to be in your life. And a lot of times when it has to do with like husband, wives, or family. A lot of times people tend to stay there even though it's so many different things that disrupts their peace, where it's showing you need to walk away. Because a lot of times, people say, well, you can't choose your family. I was like, that's a lie. There's a lot. Just because you birthed into a family don't mean nothing. Or just if you're adopted into a family, it doesn't mean nothing. A lot of times we feel like, we have to be attached to people. You have to understand if this is something that is, corrupting your peace, people are not, using boundaries when it comes to you. They want you to mind theirs, but they don't want to mind yours. If you ask them to not do something and they get to that point where they're overstepping their boundaries, or they'll keep making sure that they do things that you ask them to not do, you have to accept those people are just like that, and a lot of times, even with me, I used to take that personal. It's like, why, if I help this person, why do they wrong me so much, and it's just like, number one, I have to blame myself because I allowed myself to keep continuing to cater to that when they showed me truly by the choices that we're doing, it's all about their self. That's being selfish, but a lot of times people go through that self projection of, toxicity towards their self. There are certain situations that they need to allow themselves to address within their healing environment, but they choose not to. They choose to, whatever they're feeling about their self, they choose to want to, share that chain letter of pain with other people instead of allowing themselves to address it and heal. So you have to allow yourself to understand that, there was a lot of different things that I had to go through when I separated from my adopted family. It was like my mom, and I love her to death. She's crossed over. And me and my mom has the best relationship. While she was amongst the living, we had a very toxic relationship because of how, things were in our lives and stuff, how things were created for me to see her in certain ways that were illusions when it was actually a truth about the opposite person, the ones who was telling me that. So, but it came to that point where, I can finally allow myself to just really see things and have to accept, a lot of times when we go through different things in our lives, and especially if it has something to do with family or anything like that, and it really beats us up, you have to understand, well, this is how I was able to deal with it, and I still go through my healing process, which is absolutely not even, easy to be able to deal with. But you have to understand, I had to be able to understand, certain people in my life that was designed to supposed to be, or represent, not designed, represent a father is not always a father, or represents a mother is not always a mother. Just because that's what those titles are with those people in your, in your situation, your experience, doesn't mean that they're representing that. And for that, I mean, it's just a fact with my dad, my biological one, my best friend, my, my ace boom coon, whatever, he's over, crossed over. But it's just like, with my mom's ex-husband, uh, he's not my father. And, there was a lot of times that I had to really deal with that. And it said for me to be able to heal with those situations, I have to detach take that title off for what he was. And I'm not saying that is in a negative way, but people are placed in your life to help you learn a lot about yourself. What truth did you need to learn from? What healing you need to go through? What situations or what is in the environment from what is passed on from you with that generational issue, whatever we had going on that has just been passed from, generation to generation. And those are the things that really help me move, really help me move. And it took a lot for me to not go back to it and see it as a negative, but also see it as an actual positive. Even though I had negative situations had taken place in my life, I can be able to allow myself to transition that and say, this is, even though it brought me down and broke my heart, is mending it at the same time. These are the things that I had to see within my environment. These are the things that I had to see within myself. These are the things that I had to see within the core of a family, that cannot keep continuing. And you have to be able to do that. I don't know if anybody else, breaks down different things so they can understand it. I had to dumbitdown.com for me and myself, because it's just like, I got OCD, ADD, and PTSD, all those different acronyms, and for me to be able to deal with things. And it's just that kind of combination of those labels, everything is intensified for me. I don't know if anybody else that carries carries those labels. You go through hardship and it's always amplified more. And for me to be able to break it down and allow myself to begin that yearning of healing throughout my mental health, my well-being, everything. I had to allow myself to say, even if it's a brother, this in your life, and if it has a negative connection to that person had to bring some kind of message that had to be trauma, but is eventually going to turn into your blessing in disguise, of where you're allowing yourself to see where the key component is on where you need to heal at. Where is this, specifications of where you had to be able to heal. If things tell you, like if somebody does something, you're like, I don't care. There's a I don't care that carries a feeling of some kind of hurt or disappointment or anger to that. Or, it doesn't bother me. It's the same component of what your actions are holding on, is projecting out. There's a lot of people that will say, oh, I'm happy. But when you're allowing yourself to see different things, are they moving like happy people? Are they projecting like happy people? Are their activities, your pastime, as well as, how they hold themselves, how they carry themselves, how they speak, how they articulate, all those different things. Are they showing that vibe of happiness? And a lot of times people will mask that because, and that's like abusive to yourself. That's self, you're just, you're hurting yourself by that, because it's like the actions are not matching up with the energy, and, there's a lot of different things that carries on, where you have to go from day by day by day to be able to allow yourself to say, what, when you're allowing yourself to step in and say, I'm gonna heal, it is like the world gonna work wonders for you, but also the devil gonna really cut loose at the same time. And plus, God gonna be using those experiences to really take you through a healing process. And those are the things we have to be able to accept. You have to be able to accept that there's sometimes you're gonna have to walk that journey by yourself, even though you are very well protected. And a lot of times I used to go through different things where I would read, it was just like, universe is protecting you, God is protecting you. I'm like, okay, well, if you protected me, why did I have to go through all these different things? Where were you at when these things, took place in my life? And I had to understand, these are the things, there's certain things you're always protected. If it's detrimental to where it's going to take place for your life, or somebody's trying to intervene by hurting you, or different things like that, if that is protecting you, because a lot of times we don't know what universe and God and certain things not intervene to keep us safe. But if there are certain things that's taking place in your life, that always has to carry a reason behind that. It's going to add towards your knowledge, your experience to heal, towards that journey of expanding yourself, becoming more of that warrior, allowing yourself to see yourself from the core. These things are also, torture. Like I said, trauma, torture to me is like, you had to be ripped apart. You're a little, because it's like you're broken, but it's like the core of yourself is never broken. You're breaking away from different things you learned, you were programmed, you feared, you doubted, all those different things. Anything that represent negativity is breaking away from you. And for that to happen, you're having very intense experiences that's going to make you feel like worthless, or, you don't feel like you matter. Why did I have to be chosen for this? And these are the things, it's like, why not you? You've gone through a lot of different things in your life. You've maybe experienced things at a very early age, and then it formed your mind on how you did yourself, how you allowed people in. Did you block people out? How you move forward in life, how you moved, how you act when you move, what vibrations you project out when you speak. All these different things is in that truth of acceptance. And that a lot of times that pill called truth, you choke on it, a lot of times, because there are certain things I had to look at my life where, different, memories will come up, and it was just like, I had to keep telling myself, Don't allow yourself to beat yourself up for the blessings you gave other people. You were that person they needed at that time. Universe gave you that person, you to be that person. Just like there's certain times people came in and helped you out in some kind of way when you didn't see no way at all. Those are blessings. And a lot of times people will appreciate the things that you do for them, but also people will see that as an opportunity. There's a lot of people that be in your lives are straight ops. And you had to be able to deal with that. They're opportunists. If they see it, they a lot of times people that manipulate, they will sniff us out in a minute. Because there may have been some times we manipulated a lot of different things to go in our favor. I ain't gonna lie, I'm being real honest with you. I used to do that a lot, and it was like when I still kept doing it through my time of my awakening, I had to really allow myself to say, were you being genuine or were you manipulating that situation for you in your situation, and that's not good at all. You know what it felt like to be manipulated. You knew what it meant for people to play with your mind like that. You had to be honest with yourself, because a lot of people cannot do that, because it's just like people like, I'm grown, I'm doing this, I do that. Okay, like that video I shared, that little short I shared with y'all on my community page. Everybody grown until it's come to start conversating, being honest, holding yourself accountable, and telling the truth. There's a lot of time, folk, when it comes in those categories, though, they all of a sudden they go silent or go mute, but it comes a time right now where you can't wait for explanations, you can't wait for closures, you have or waiting for sorries. A lot of times you just got to close that door. Look, even though that story ain't finished, I'm finishing. Goodbye. And you got to keep going. And I had to be able to tell myself like that. This is that time where it's like all or nothing, because when God wants you to move, he'll start adding so much drama to your life if you allowing yourself to really slack off on yourself. It's like you are pressure. So you got to move like you pressure. These situations is putting you in beast mode because they want you to go through the worst of the worst. So when all hell breaks loose and it comes to you, it's not going to phase you because you done been through so much. That is like, this is all you got. It's like you need to come back, go go recalibrate and strategize and come back on a different one, because this thing get me. I'm like, am I supposed to be scared? Or if you hit me, it was like throwing a grape at me. I'm like, it's ouch. It kind of itched and tingled a little bit. It'd be one of those situations, but you're allowing yourself to go through a vibration of acceptance. There's just a lot of things in your life, that you have to really, really allow yourself to just be able to have to accept, because there are so many different things in my life I had to accept. I had to accept, there's people in my life that was only there for benefits. I was a pawn. And it was, not saying that to talk bad about anybody. I'm at that point, I can't talk about my situation in a negative way, but also just use it as that experience of an example, just to show how much I'm truly blessed. Even though I go through my midst of struggles, it's, you become your own pressure, within those things. You learn so much about your storms till you become your own storm. And it's that storm of peace, evolution, redemption, salvation, balance, that enigma, you're that conundrum. It's like they can't figure you out. I move in different sequences that you haven't even experienced yet. I'm plotted out on like 20 different things after the point of me saying hello 5 seconds ago, and I just don't have to announce it with anything. And these are the things, it's just like we're the ones that, and it's just our ancestors has been prepping us this for so long. You're transforming into something that has not yet been, merged. That's why it's like so much hell is breaking loose, because the devil is doing any and everything to make sure that you don't come out that shadow. He's trying to do everything. He bringing folks in, they're staying oppressed, and it's okay long as they can be stuck on that materialistic thing, on, feeling like I have to have this to keep surviving, or I have to have this much bank in my account for me to keep going. I have to be doing this, and it's just like the people that are actually going through it, you're shaking. There'll be times you probably mess on yourself because of the stuff that you go through, but you're using, you made that first step of being brave. It's just like there's a lot of times I got to just look in the mirror and say, you got to be just wiping tears. You got it. You know, you got it. Even though it may not feel like it, you may not understand God's purpose on what all the battles I'm facing, but you got it. You're not going through this alone. Anything that happened, it happened for a reason, to either hurt you, teach you, elevate you, learn you something. It had a purpose to it for your going through, and it gives you power in different ways that you didn't know you had, because it's like when you're allowing honesty and truth to move you forward, you know, it may be hard at first, and I ain't even gonna lie, it's hard, you know, especially if you're so used to moving at you're so accustomed to moving at a certain way. Because I used to be very volatile. I can feel it at times, like that old me want to come out like, oh, you really pressing me, you really trying to get me out of my space. Please, 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 please don't do that. Just don't. I don't like confrontation. I be like, I'm gonna go that way. You can go this way, I'm gonna go that way, you know, and you have to be able to do that. You know, a lot of times, you know, universe and God will bring something up just to see if you're gonna use your old way of doing things, or you're gonna use what you have learned throughout your mistakes, throughout your time. When you spoke before, you actually allowed yourself to evaluate what was taking place. You didn't think before you spoke. You know, you move forward without, you know, looking both ways. You know, a lot of times you can run right dead into traffic, don't even know it, because you're occupied. A lot of times we miss our blessings because we're so focused on the most irrelevant people and the most irrelevant situations. And they're telling us, you know, those situations came by for a change, but we're trying to create change within you. You know, a lot of times the situation, we feel like we got to heal this person, we got to heal that person. You can assist that person, you can give them the antidote, you know, the recipe on what they need to do. You can't force somebody to heal. You can't stay in their life until they heal. And I'll tell people real quick, I'll give you this, I'll give you that, but it's your choice to do it. Or I'll tell people, I don't mind helping you, but the question is, are you going to be able to help yourself? You know, because I can't do all the work for you, because people are like, Roslynn, this didn't happen, this didn't happen. But did you do what I said for you to do? And they get all quiet. I said, oh, can you buy a vowel? And, you know, did you do what I told you to do? You know, and there'll be times I said, don't think I'm getting mad at you. And I'm not preaching to the choir. I got my own stuff. I had to don't be a hypocrite, because there was a lot of time I tell somebody something and I had to be able to go by my own words on how I choose to move. And that's what we have to be able to do. You have to accept that things are the way they are, you know, and it may be hurtful at times, but you can't hurt yourself with the truth, you know, when you know the truth. You know, well, let me not say that, because it depends on what kind of truth that is. But a lot of times it hurts to help. Really is. It hurts to help, and it helps you heal. So, you know, it just creates that peace for you that you really have to understand. You know, a lot of times it's not hard, you know, it's not easy to digest that truth, but, you know, it gets you to where you need to be without hesitation. You know, if it ain't supposed to be there, don't try to force something that ain't supposed to be there, because a lot of time folks want to walk out your life. You need to let them go. You know, you really have to be able to do that. And it may be hard at times, but you got to let them go, you know, and don't allow yourself to stay back with folks that, you know, ain't willing to change for themselves. You got to be able to make that decision for you. Like, boo-boo, I ain't got time to be waiting for you to be over here finding out where you at, when I already know where my destination is, and it's not here. So you go ahead and do what you need to do. If we're going to meet up, hey, cool, we can do that. If not, it was good knowing you. You know, you have to allow yourself to know, even when folks come at you, you know, crazy, you have to remind yourself, don't allow yourself. I say, if it's not going to be a person that you can talk to, you know, in mature balance, that is going to be mature about it, is going to have an open mind, then you can talk and not debate, not argue, not fuss, no fight, no cursing out. Talk, not talk at you either. But if it's one of those folks like, I'm gonna let you do what it do, and I'm gonna be over here doing what I do and going about my business, because I'm not about waste that energy on you. Your energy is too precious. You got things right now you could really be doing this, trying to square you up to take you further than you ever imagined or ever expected or even experienced. You know, if we getting something we ain't ever got before, he gonna make us do everything we ain't did before. You got to be able to make those choices, and you have to understand it's supposed to be a benefit, you know, for a lot of things. So I hope you were able to resonate with the content of that video. Y'all, I would love to give a post notification shout out to Eugene Bliss, the Road to Happiness is one of my new family, soul families. He's very sweet, got a very kind vibration. I really like that. Annie I and Katrina Rainwater and Little Norm. Much love to you as well. If you're new to the channel, welcome. It's so good to have you. Make sure you drop a line, like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you know when you get the notifications of when I'm going to do my next video. If whatever you're trying to manifest into your life, I'm putting that vibration on you. It's going to be something that's going to bring you to your knees. There'll be certain things that you never expected. If you're going through a lot of things, expected is going to drop your jaws on whatever you're expecting to come into your life. And it's going to be coming sooner than you projected it as well. I said predicted as well. That's what I meant. Y'all don't mind me. It's been a long day. Been starting off late, and I'm out for the late start. But hey, better late than never. But like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Drop a line. I would love to be able to have a chance to get to know you as much as you're getting to know me. I'll leave all my contact information in the description box below, as well as my link to my podcast as well. People come to me. It's all about spiritual networking. A lot of times people come to me, ask me about different experiences they have gone through, or my insight about it, or different questions, or just curiosities about the spiritual purpose, and just being able to try my best to give people a deeper understanding of that experience. And whatever we speak on is confidential, so I try my best to be able to help out where I can. And even through social distancing, make sure you give out love, light, positivity, words via frequencies. You just never know. All those things can really take somebody a long way. And you'll see me on my next video. Much love to you. Peace. Be responsible. Be safe. And I hope you have a blessed weekend, because I cannot believe it's Thursday already. All right. See you soon. Well, you see me soon. Much love. Bye.